What it is, what it do, Gorilla Crew, it's your boy Gorillaphent here. Today we are going to talk about the new killer on DVD, on the PTB right now, Legion, and why Legion is, I call him Pig 2.0. First let's start with his pros. His pros are his Feral Frenzy mode is really good. If you have a brain and a controller or a mouse, I guarantee if you see a survivor use Feral Frenzy, you're gonna get a hit, which is amazing. Then that applies to Deep Wound. We all know this. So that's his strength. His strength is the ability to use his ability and get a hit and get an injure. 9 out of 10 times. There's gonna be some people who are just gonna like be terrible and just miss. I mean, there's no cooldown even when you miss. When you miss, I mean, you can literally just spam the attack button and eventually you'll hit something. So that's one of his strongest pros. The deep wound, the ability to instantly injure someone. And like with that, his other pro is if you're within his terror radius, you show up in a sense. Like you show up as a little webby type blip to let him know which direction to go. So he can, use his ability to get multiple hits. Because whenever you get whenever you apply deep wound, your bar gets refilled, and whenever you apply a second deep wound to the same person, your bar gets depleted. So that's like his strength. Like his strength is he can chain attacks, cover a lot of ground, find people very easily, even though he can't see scratch marks during his Feral Frenzy, but it's okay because you can literally just see them. Like wherever that little web-looking heartbeat is, that's where they are. And then I also believe they show up red. So he can easily chain stackable hits and injure multiple people and apply a deep wound, which applies the bar time bleed out bar. Now let's get to his cons. All right, his cons is after doing such an amazing job at finding the team, injuring the team, getting this pressure, wink wink, he cannot capitalize on it. What I mean by that is, let's say if you go from what I've seen, the only real way to play him, which isn't how he's technically designed to be played. Let's say, you stab one guy, you stab another guy, you go back to the first guy you stabbed him again. All right, so now you've applied deep wound and you've done damage. Now, if you're not playing add-ons, you've probably done a third damage. Like the way it works is if you hit someone 3 times while they're deep wounded, they go down. So you have to, in a sense, hit them 4 times with your ability. You have to hit the initial deep wound and then 3 times after that. So you will hit the initial deep wound, hit them a second time, power will go away, power recharge, go into your power, hit them 2 more times, they're down. That's how it initially works. With no add-ons, just base how he plays. All right, so that's kind of weird. Like that's not how he's supposed to be played in a sense. Like I don't feel like he should want to focus one guy. I mean, what's the point of telling me where the whole team is if you just want me to chase the guy that's sad? So to me, his playstyle is very confusing. It's very not focused on how I feel like he should play. I feel like the bleed timer should be what he's going for. His goal should be to injure and put bleed time or bar time, however you want to describe it, or deep wound timer, whatever you want to call it. We'll call it deep wound timer, DWT, for the time being. As many people as possible, but it feels like the only way he can get pressure is if he tries to tunnel one person. He injures them, comes out of his ability, and then we go to like one of his biggest cons, which is the 110 movement speed. That's just too slow. 115, a lot of people are afraid he will be overpowered, which is understandable. But 110 is 100% too slow, because on initial playing him, you would think, oh, so what I do is I frenzy, I hit someone else. The someone else that I hit, if I know no one's else around, I just chase them, come out of, I turn my power off, I get stunned from depleting my power, and then I just 115 chase him, get the hit. So he'd pretty much be similar to a Spirit and how Spirit uses her ability to find you, hit you, you put a little distance around, then she tries to, find you again using scratch marks. With him, it would be the same thing on you could see the scratch marks on the initial chase, and then when you go into frenzy, you can see the blood on the ground if you were playing Bloodhound or something of that nature. Or if you just have good eyes and you're on a good bright map, which your new lighting with this update is pretty much allows that. But that's not really the case when it's 110 movement speed. It is very easy to put a great deal of distance between him, because you have to think, when you hit that initial hit, all survivors get a sprint burst when they're injured. So that puts a great deal of distance. And then let's say if a survivor's ballsy, they're crouch walking, you hit them, they get that initial sprint from injured, then they go sprint burst. Or if they have life, they just jump through a window, putting even more space on you. And that's where that 110 movement speed really kind of cucks him. So that's, in my opinion, one of his biggest cons. His power, I don't like, for me, the way to make Legion great would either be to give him 115 movement speed and kind of leave everything the same, see how it plays out, which that would probably happen on a live server, which would be, not good. Or leave him at 110, adjust his power, but then either way, I could see this killer tipping to the point where people be like, yo, he's a little too strong. As we can see with Spirit, a lot of people can agree Spirit on the PTB was awful, and people thought she would be a mid-tier killer at best. And with a power change, they changed the time on her power, and with a sound change, which when her ability was directional, kind of felt silly. Spirit immediately became top-tier killer just with those changes. Some people do say that she's overpowered, because it's very difficult to outplay a good Spirit based on the fact they can see the grass moving. They can tell by your scratch marks when you stopped and crouch or when you stop running, so they know which kind of area you're in, so they come out of their ability and get hits and things of that nature. That's something that Legion does suffer from. Whenever he comes out of his ability, there's a stun, which I can understand that, because if it wasn't, he would literally be guy/girl Spirit who doesn't see scratch but sees blood. Like literally, if he didn't have that stun coming out. And unfortunately, he has a double stun whenever you hit someone with the initial deep wound and then hit them the second time to apply damage to the deep wound timer. He gets stunned from that, and then he gets stunned from coming out of his power. So I don't necessarily know if 2 stuns were intended or what, but I know that is a humongous con to him, because you get stunned after you hit them, they put distance between you. Then you go into the stun animation of your power running out, so they put even more distance to you. They put even more distance between you and them, and then you're only 110 movement speed. So his cons kind of like stack on top of each other why he's trash. He's fun, I will give him that. Like the first game I actually played with him, like just out of the box, got home, downloaded the PTB, and played with a good survivor group. Hella fun. He is the I'll put this. He is the gangbang gen survivor crusher. When you get to a gen and there's 2 or more survivors on the gen, he crushes it like nobody's business. His what would seem to be pressure with any other killer seems enormous, and it seems like, oh my god, this killer out the box can be this shit. And then you realize, oh, it takes, I believe it's 40 seconds for them to get downed from the deep wound timer, and it takes them 10 seconds to mend. So you're literally only creating 10 seconds of pressure. So yeah, and once again, this is like stats I've heard with no add-ons. So it's kind of like, in a sense, what are you really doing? Now I have found a decent way to chase with Legion. I'm gonna do a video on that, on how the way I found to play Legion. Of course it was with purple add-ons. I don't know if that's the new theme of Dead by Daylight, to make killers that out the box are okay, but once you get them the purple add-ons, they're top tier. We can all agree that Spirit with her amulet and her Wusuke, blah, 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 her little weird sword and wrench looking thingy, that gives her insane lunge, and the amulet just gives her a pretty much full upgrade. Like literally, it's like if you're playing an MMO and it's like, hey, this upgrades every stat you have. Do you want to equip it? And it's like, bitch, please. So she pretty much has one of those. So I think we can all agree once she gets that going, it's kind of, you know, you're already annoying to play against because I can't see you. Now you're just being a bitch. All right. Now you're just being a sweaty, can't wear a gray t-shirt bitch. Okay. I'm just going to say you don't wear gray t-shirts because your pits get wet. Then you have that dark gray stand up on you and everybody's asking, hey, what's going on? Are you okay? Because you don't use Degree. Degree 24-hour protection is the deodorant you should use, but instead you over there using Dove and shit. So now your pits is raw, stinking, and your shirt is dark gray. All right. But anyway, so I did figure out some way to play him and make him somewhat threatening, but I still, even playing the way that it felt like I should play him in a sense, it didn't feel strong enough to even be a mid-tier type killer. I mean, it kind of felt like I was playing the pig if everybody just got their bear traps off instantly. You know, that's how I felt like. I mean, because I couldn't even guarantee the downs. That like, as a killer, pressure is hell of important. We all know that. You know, when you play Survivor, a killer that's constantly around the map, constantly on somebody's ass, constantly in the chase is a pain in the ass. And you know, as a Survivor, you know this, and it's like, crap, this killer's strong because he's everywhere all the time. He's always constant pressure. He chases quickly. He ends chase quickly, and things of that nature. And he gets easy downs. I don't feel like Legion can get downs. That's another con on the board. He just can't get downs. He can't turn his ability to find you, stab you, injure you, and your squad quickly. I might add, because I mean, he vaults windows, he vaults pallets. So I mean, that's insane. But he can't turn that, what we would describe as pressure or ability, into a down, because he doesn't see scratch marks when he's in frenzy. So when he goes from one to another, true, he does see the heartbeat, so he knows where you went, but he's a 110 killer. You know, you just sprint burst away. You just, you know, life out of window away, you know, get this distance. Men get rid of the injury, and then boom, you're in a 110, you know, you're in a chase with a 110 killer. So you have even more time, so your team can then mend up as well, 10 seconds, go to other generators, get those done, and you're still over here, you know, playing patty cake with this guy, and then he finally gets a down, and 2 gens have been knocked out. That's an issue. Like, I heard slugging builds might work with him. I might try some, if I can find some lobbies on the PTB. Also, be sure to join the Discord, guys, because I will be like going to Discord saying, hey, is anybody around to play? I want to try something out with the killer, and if you're in there, you know, the lobbies will be open so anyone can join. But yeah, it's just like, to have such great ability to apply pressure, to be all over the map, to find people, to not be able to get the down is like, what's the fucking point? Like what's the point? Like what do you do? You know, I get like really mad and I vault windows. Okay, cool. You know, I jump over pallets. Oh, you jump over pallets, Legion? Yeah, I jump over pallets really quick. And when I stab survivors, my power refreshes. Okay, Legion, I like you. You looking good. You looking good for this interview for the new main. Okay, right there beside Spirit and Leatherface. Some of my other mains. All right, Legion. Okay, then what do you do? Then I stab him. I inflict a deep wound bar that if it ticks down all the way, they'll fall. Okay, so you got some instant down potential. All your hits are instant downs. Yeah, they are. You know, after 40 seconds, what? Yeah, sir. It takes 40 seconds to get the down, but then they'll be down, and I get a notification that tells me where they are. Okay, Legion. But if I stab them again, the timer goes down. Okay, Legion, that sounds good. But then I get stunned coming out of my power, and then I get stunned again. I get stunned first time for stabbing them again, and then I get stunned again till I'm the end of my power. Legion, do you want to be a main killer, brother? Cause like, you know. Oh, and I'm also 110 moves. All right, Legion, get the fuck out of office. You're terrible. All right, it's over. You're trash. So that's kind of my opinion on Legion. Could he be good? I think so. Maybe some minor changes. Like I said, Spirit was pretty bad to start with. Look at her now. So could Legion be playable in the week, 2 weeks before they release him? I hope so. I have 1 million blood points sitting around waiting for somebody to get it. If it's not Legion, cool. If it is Legion, cool. It doesn't help that all his perks are ass too. I'm saying, Spirit had like, okay, you know, Spirit Fury kind of became like, all right, yeah, you know, combo with that Enduring, you know, because you only got 4 perk slots. You know, you got to earn a perk slot around here. Rancor is kind of like whatever. And you know, you kind of run haunted grounds a little bit if you run like shaman builds or something of that nature, or you have a you know, killer who can get around the map quickly to take advantage of that. So you know, she was like 1.5, you know, 2 out of 3 if you being nice on her perks. Legion is 0 for 0. You know, the locker, he's 0 for 3. Sorry, the locker perk is stupid. It's memey at best. It's actually quite confusing because like people can like miss gens and start jumping in and out of lockers. You want to capitalize on that exposed status, but you just don't have time to do both because once again, Legion ain't hillbilly. He can't go from one end of the map to the other end of the map with 1 power. He has a very short window where he needs to find you, hit you, and get going. So the locker perk's kind of silly. What's the other one? Like they're all so bad. Oh, the thing where it's like 2 people in the generator goes yellow. I mean, okay, like, I guess, thanks, I suppose. And then the final perk, what's the final one? So, oh, if I'm carrying you and I hit somebody, my swings don't have cooldown, and if I hit somebody, I pause your wiggle. I'm pretty sure that's only gonna work against dumbass survival friends. So if you find some of those lying around, have fun. You know, you'll probably get downs off of that. So. But anyway, guys, this is my way of like doing a little review video on Legion. I'm going to actually do another video talking about perks I think might work good on them. Not necessarily a build, but just perks that might work good on them. Depends on how this goes, because as we know, Min doesn't work with Nurse's Calling, which is terrible. I think that's because Min was introduced as a new thing, and I think the devs overlooked the fact that this should 100% work with Nurse's Calling, because it is literally you mending a wound, which is a form of healing. If snapping out of insanity triggers Nurse's Calling, mending a giant deep wound should also be triggered with Nurse's Calling. So thank you guys so very much for watching this video. Let me know what you guys think about Legion. Let me know what you guys think about me doing videos like this. I could do this in the future where we just talk about killers. I give you my opinion, pros and cons type thing. I know Legion had a long list of cons, but there was like a pro or two, right? Let me know. Comment down below. Thank you guys so very much. Appreciate the love and support. Be sure to have those bells on so you get notifications because we do upload daily or bi-daily. But yeah, so peace to you. Love you guys. Later.